Alright, so hi, I'm Kason. I'm at the Crescent, and Tim's behind the camera. So this is Matt Tortora, the loan coordinator here at Quinnipiac University. And since we're all juniors, I figured it'd be important to figure out what's going on with our loans. You know, I don't exactly know what's going on with my own loan, so this is beneficial for me too. So here's a slight interview. Matt, where do I find my loans, first of all?
Okay, well, there's three types of loans you kind of want to be looking at as a student. We'll start off pretty much with the direct Stafford loans. And the way to get those loans is you have to fill out the FAFSA. It's kind of one of those grueling processes, paperwork that you have to get done when it comes out January 1st, and that pretty much will make you available for direct Stafford, which is the subsidized and unsubsidized. And the quick difference is subsidized, the government pays the interest while you're in school, and the unsubsidized, the interest accrues. So those are kind of the two, and those are federal loans, so those are good to have in your package, which you'll get from your university, such as Quinnipiac. And then you'll be moving on to, let's say, a Parent Plus loan. So now you need to discuss with your family whether that's how you want to maybe fill the gap when you're thinking about loans. A Parent Plus loan is in the parent's name, it's through the government, and it's fixed right now at 7.9%. So that's an option that you want to discuss with the family. And then after that, you're going to look at alternative loans, which also will fill the gap after you get your financial aid. So alternative loans, there's a website called Student Lending Analytics. A lot of universities use it. It has a different variety of private loans. You're going to see variable and fixed. Connecticut has a Connecticut state loan that is fixed at 6.8. So a lot of students in the past, like to see fixed. Some like to see variable. Kind of depends what works best for you, and that's something, again, you have to kind of sit down and discuss with your family how you're going to fill the gap. So that's kind of how you would apply. In university like Quinnipiac, our website has links to all that stuff, and most universities do, so it's really easy to find that information. And call your financial aid office too, because they can at least direct you in the right place.
All right, that's great. So once I graduate, how do I start paying back my loans?
Okay. A lot of times I get seniors that'll come to me and say, okay, I have no idea what I have, and that's not that good. You really want to be planning when you come in as a freshman. You really should understand what you're doing, what kind of loans you're going to be, getting from your freshman all the way to your senior year. Because if you have that idea of what your, kind of loans you're getting, it's going to be a lot easier when you get out, because you've already kind of come up with that plan. Okay, I've got a loan that usually you get a grace period of 6 months. So now you're going to graduate, you'll get the job, put some money aside, so then you start paying back your loans. Meet with, a loan coordinator like me or your financial aid office to find out maybe what kind of loans you have. What kind of private loans you have, maybe lenders. If you haven't kept track of them, then the financial aid office will know. There's also a great website called nslds.gov that'll give you a breakdown of all your federal loans that you have. So that'll be a really useful website if you want to go there. And then again, your financial aid office.
That's great. Now I hear the word consolidation thrown around every now and then. What does that mean?
Well, it's funny. Consolidation used to be big, actually, when I graduated, which was only 5 years ago. But now you don't see it too much happening with student loans. The federal government, which does the direct Stafford loans, which I was telling you about, the subsidized, unsubsidized, which is through the government, they do consolidation. Usually what that means is if you have a high rate somewhere and a low rate somewhere, they're consolidated, so you kind of get the average of a rate. Again, that was back a lot when you got your federal Stafford loans through private lenders. Now all your Stafford loans are through the government. But if you're graduating as a senior now, you might have had in the past some private lenders that lent you the Stafford loan. So it would be good to look into consolidation. But again, you'd have to look through the Department of Ed, which is if you go to www.studentloan.gov, you can find their number there. Again, that's where all the federal Stafford loans are. So they would talk to them about the consolidation part of it.
All right, that's great. I know that once you graduate, you have a certain grace period where you don't have to pay back your loans right away.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called the deferment period. So how does that work, and how exactly would one go about starting a deferment period?
Sure. Well, deferment is what you all are in now. Right now, you're in school, so you're deferring your loans until you graduate. Then you got that grace period. So that's great. So it gives you time, to get yourself together. Now, deferment is possible if you're up in 6 months and now all of a sudden you got to pay back your loans. You're like, I'm having a financial hardship. I don't think I can do it. You talk to the lender, and you could probably put in a deferment for a certain amount of time until you have to pay up again. There's also a thing called forbearance, which people kind of confuse with deferment. Forbearance, usually there's a clip, I think, of 3 months that you kind of get a break from paying back your loans. So you started paying back your loans, and all of a sudden you're like, something happened, you didn't know you had to end up with this expense, then you can put your loan in forbearance, but it gives you just some time off to get your finances together. So either one of those two would work.
All right, that's great. Are there any loan forgiveness programs that one can look into?
It all depends. When you graduate, a lot of times with loan forgiveness, you want to talk to your employer, because you never know who you're working for. There might be something that they have that can do loan forgiveness. I know something specifically, so if there's a nurse watching this, there is a program called NELRP, which is Nursing Education Loan Repayment Program. So if you Google NELRP, it's great for nurses, and you can actually, if you're eligible, you can get, I think, 85% of your loans paid back, and that's pretty impressive. But they're out there for all kinds of jobs and stuff, in business, communications, health sciences, wherever you are. Again, the thing is to kind of do the research. Get on the internet, look it up, and talk to your employer, and try to do that sometimes beforehand, maybe before you get a job. Look to see if they have any type of benefit, and then maybe you want to put yourself into that job so that you can help yourself pay back loans.
Okay. And do you have any final thoughts to give to the students?
My final thought would probably be the best thing is to really come up with a plan. Try not to go out and just avoid the fact that you've got loans to pay back, because it's important. If you come up with a plan, if you come up with a budget, if you talk it out with your parents, then it's a lot easier. It's a lot more affordable to pay down those payments. If you talk to your lender, and say, okay, well, maybe I can't afford this, but maybe we can bring it down to this amount. So if you do the research and you put together a plan, it's going to be a lot easier for you when you get out of school and you actually have to start paying these back, and some people just pretend that they're not there, but they are there. And a lot of times you got to make sacrifices, and it's okay. Parents are probably not going to like me for this, but it's okay to move back home, because you know what? That's where you can, save some money for a couple of years. Live like you were in college for a little bit, so you can help pay back your loans, 3 or 5 years, and then before you know it, you're ahead of the gang, and you can outdo those things like end up buying a house, all that stuff. So it's kind of what I would say for.
All right, that's great. Well, that basically concludes our interview. If you guys have any further questions, I would highly suggest that, can they schedule time to meet?
Absolutely. You can stop down in our financial aid office, and you can schedule time with me, or you can talk with any of our loan counselors here. And for seniors, there's exit sessions coming up, so make sure you pay attention to those, because that's a whole presentation on exiting and what to do with your loan. So that's really important. It's in April, I think. I don't know the date specifically, but I think it's 13th, 14th, 15th, around there. So.
All right, that's great. All right, thank you, Matt.
No problem. Anytime.